My name is Margaret Chen. I'm a senior executive partner with Accenture. I run our North America Health Administration Strategy practice. So we focus on strategy primarily for payers across the U.S. So I run our strategy practice working with Bay Area accounts. Kaiser is actually one of my clients. So I'm very happy to be here today. I've been with Accenture for 15 years. And just really good. So looking forward to it.
My name is Elaine Law. I'm representing Project Management Institute today. I'm actually the president of the San Francisco Bay Area chapter. I've been a long-term project manager, but my job is really just to make people have fun and laugh.
My name is Eugenia Rao. I'm a partner at PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is a very long name. We call it PwC nowadays. It's one of the big four accounting firms. I'm a tax partner at PwC, mainly overseeing the cross-border tax issues related to Asia and the U.S., specifically here in Northern California.
Hi, my name is Vivian Tan. I'm with Kaiser Permanente. I'm the Vice President of Strategic and Capital Planning. Just a little bit more information on Kaiser. We are a $50 billion not-for-profit healthcare company, and we're one of the largest, actually we're the largest integrated healthcare company. And recently, a year ago, I took over capital planning. We oversee a $40 billion capital planning plan, and we spend about $4 billion a year. And actually, a little known fact, just because of some people probably were from the prior session, Kaiser actually runs a venture fund as well. Nobody knows that very much, but we do, and we actually invest in 40 to 50 companies in the healthcare space every year.
Good afternoon. My name is Leslie Yotsuya. I'm a Senior Vice President for Bank of the West. We're in 19 states and about 600 branches, and we are the Go West Fair that you see, hopefully, in your neighborhood, and I'm really happy to be here with this great group of women. Looking forward to the questions.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, what we thought we would do here is, rather than just have a panel discussion, we are going to expect you folks to participate. So the only question that I'm going to throw out, and I'm going to ask the ladies to please comment also on each other's comments. And then as you have any thoughts, please stand up and I will make sure that the microphone is given to you. All right. One of the things that I think is key for a lot of people is that they understand that this is a journey. So what I would like to ask you ladies is, what was the most surprising aspect of your journey to get to the point of responsibility that you're in right now?
We all jump.
Yes, and so here's the thing that happens. Then you do something really mean-spirited, like you say, well, Eugenia, what have you got for thoughts on this situation? She's holding a microphone, it's not like she can just simply give it away.
Sure. Actually, the surprising moment happened very, very early on in my career. When I first started with PwC, this was back in the days when we were trying to reinvent ourselves in terms of our evaluation. So we were supposed to evaluate ourselves. And that's supposed to go into our file. So then my first year, I thought I did a pretty decent job, pretty, not bad compared to everyone else. So I gave myself sort of middle of the pack. And then the female partner called me in and she said, so Eugenia, how do you think you did? I said, well, I think I did fairly well, compared with everyone else. And she said, well, everyone else gave themselves excellent. So you gave yourself sort of middle of the pack. That means you're not doing as well as your peers. She's like, well, you know what all your male, Caucasian male, I'm sorry for Caucasian males here, but do you know what they gave all themselves? Not only, they gave themselves excellent, they gave examples, but you didn't give any examples about what you've done. Oh, okay. Well, that was an aha moment for me very early on, that nobody's going to know what I'm doing unless if I somehow get it out there. But it's hard to tune out my own horn. So I learned to share subtly with people who can tune my horn for me. So that was an aha moment for me.
And I think, and I think that's part of our culture, right, how we were brought up. And I think for me, it was establishing your own passion and your own goals rather than the ones that were set before us, right? So we're told you have to be at the top, or whatever is at the very, very top. But that doesn't have to be your own passion. You can decide what you want to do and where your objectives are. And I think once you establish that, then you have a different moment of satisfaction as you achieve that. And yeah, I think that's as part of it, just establishing your own level. You don't always have to be what someone else says is successful. You can be quite successful by determining your own passion.
So Kimmy, could you give us a question about that same question?
What was the most surprising aspect of your journey to this level of responsibility?
So there's so many things going through my mind right now because my leadership is in two facets, right? I'm a leader role at work, the paid job, and a leader role at my volunteer job. And the thing that comes to the surface the most, and looking at all these wonderful women in my age group, yes, I'm as old as them, is having it be the moment that I stopped doing it for me and started doing it for others to succeed. So I started to get joy by helping other people lead and having other people become the leader that they want to be. And it became simple. Like the world was so crazy and so difficult and complex. And in that moment when you're doing it because your heart is telling you that you want to do it, it becomes so clear and simple. So I really couldn't tell you the exact time that it happened, but I can feel it in my heart.
I think all the women here and their stories really resonated with me, and I think I would start by saying that I think that at some point you have to be happy with where you are. It's exactly your point. It's not a race. It's a marathon, right? So you have to be comfortable with that. And I'll give you a personal example. So like many Asians, I was asked to go pre-med, and I was asked to yeah, exactly. I was asked to go pre-med and apply to med school and the like, and so. Every standardized test you can think of, whether it's the LSAT, MCAT, GMAT, I've taken them all. And did I really want to?
Sorry.
I know. I've taken them all. There we go. So I've taken them all, and so I graduated from Duke, was pre-med. I got my parents to agree to take a year off, and while I was doing that, I decided to try consulting out. It's going to pass the time. But I got into healthcare consulting, and at the same time I was doing healthcare consulting, I was at the University of Minnesota, which was my home state. I was applying to med school there and taking gross anatomy at night. But I was doing all these things, only two of which I really wanted to do. Sorry, one of which I really wanted to do, which is continue to work in business. I really felt a passion for that. But I would say it was almost 5 years after I deferred med school that I really let myself go and say that wasn't my expectation, that was someone else's expectation for me. So if anyone's in that situation, just take a step back, think about what your expectation is for you, and it can change over time. So I think that's very important, and I think the aha moment for me was when I let myself set my own expectation of what I wanted to do, what success meant to me, that things really came around, and I just kind of focused on what I wanted to do and my passion for, helping do strategic restructuring and the like. But through that journey, the other thing I think that is a talent and a skill that all of us have to develop, and we talked about this actually in a prep call, is self-promotion. Because it doesn't come easily, I think, especially for Asians. We have to be very modest and to let our work speak for itself. In this environment and in this economy, it doesn't always do that. So always think about how you want to do self-promotion, and always think about what your elevator speech is as you go out in the world. Know who you are and what you represent.
I think in terms of a journey, a lot of the things have already been said. So I think I'll say something a little different, which I found very important as part of my journey. The things that seem like a big deal don't seem like a big deal when they're happening to you. And it's a small incident or a small moment that can actually change things. So as an example, when I first started off in working for government at that time, I was working back in Asia for the Singapore government, and the most senior person in the department, his speechwriter, was out sick. Nobody else wanted to write his speech. And I thought, hey, okay, I'll write your speech. So I volunteered to write his speech, wrote it for him, went to the, we got to follow the person to the speech. He gave his speech, we talked about the ideas, and it was actually from that doing that little thing that he said, hey Vivian, because I was very junior and like didn't even know my name before I volunteered to write his speech. And he said, look, I think you should be on the deregulation team. And actually it ended up being one of the biggest projects the agency did because we deregulated the whole entire telecom industry at the time. And we introduced competition. So, it was like a tiny thing at that time, and it's like, oh, it's one weekend of work. But in retrospect, when you actually kind of think about it, it's all these little, in a way, lucky things that happen to you, but you have to seize on it when you see it. And you might not know the significance of it while you're going through it, but in retrospect, when you kind of look back and go, that's the first time where, I did something big. And so I think that's the thing, that you have to live in the moment, and you actually have to be aware of some of these things, and in a way it's taking a chance as well, doing something different. So that's